welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jessie and I make videos all about houseplants and houseplant related topics. If you would like to subscribe to this channel, please go ahead and do so. This channel is growing far beyond my imagination ever allowed me to believe that was possible for this channel, so thank you so much for being here. I adore you all. Today's video, we are going to be doing a little bit of a repot with me. So what I'm going to do is probably reintroduce myself a little bit because this channel has grown, like I said, quite a bit. Not quite a bit. I mean, I'm not, I'm not famous, but you guys, I don't know, there's like almost 900 people subscribed to me now at this point, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a reintroduction about myself. I'm going to give you a little bit of a life update as well, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the plants I'm repotting. So let's just go ahead and get into it. We're outside today on my patio because if you've seen any of my other repot with me's, you know that I make a mess. So, I'm hoping to mitigate that by being outside today. Let's get into it. So I have several plants that I need to be repotting today, and as well as some that are like propagations that need to get into soil before winter starts. Most likely what's going to happen is that this will be my last repot for the winter for the most part, unless, I don't know, I get one or two more random plants. But this will be my last big repot before winter. I don't prefer to repot in the winter just for the sake of them going like dormant. I don't know, I don't want to like disrupt the roots during that time. So I'm gonna try and get most of my plants that I need to be repotted done today, and then leave them that way for the full winter. I'm hoping that they will acclimate well. This is my first winter here in Seattle, obviously, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna affect my plants. Back in Buffalo, it would get very cold. Like, if you know anything about Buffalo, it's freezing there. And so it would get very cold, and my plants did not do super well there during the winter. But I don't know, I'm thinking that the plants here will do a little bit better, but I don't know, honestly. So this is all just gonna be a new experience for me, a learning curve, and that's fine. I'm excited for it. So what I'm gonna start off with here is, I have a bamboo stake I'm just gonna use. This is a propagation of a Hoya macrophylla. It's been propagating perlite, and you'll see next to me, perlite, moist perlite is my favorite way to propagate pretty much all my plants, unless they're like super common plants, and I'll just stick them in water because, that works too. But I had trimmed this off of, this is like a 1-leaf cutting. I had trimmed it off of this plant right here because it had this like long runner, but with only 1 leaf on it, like right at the end. So I trimmed the runner off, and I just want it to be like a fuller plant rather than like a long and leggy plant. So now I have propagated it, and it is very rooted. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so it is perlite-y, so I don't know if you can see the roots too much, but you can see that there's a lot of roots coming off here. And this little yellow piece is yellowing just from being like buried in the perlite. I don't think it's rotting though, like I'm looking at it, and it's not soft or mushy, it's just like discolored. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant this just like this in the soil right next to it. And then what I'm gonna do probably, so when I plant propagations into like a plant that's already full of a plant, the thing is I like to keep my newly propagated and potted plants moist. And that's kind of difficult to do when you plant into a plant that's already established, because you don't want to keep your plants moist only when they're freshly propagated. So what I will probably do is grab like a spray bottle and like spray just the soil that's around the newly potted leaf for now, like for the next like 2 weeks or so, just to help this get established into the soil. But thankfully I actually let this dry out all the way, so like in anticipation for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and water the whole plant just to get it acclimated into the soil, nice and moist. And I'm just gonna let it, where am I gonna let it drain? Probably gonna let it drain over here so that it just falls off the balcony. All right, next what I'm gonna do is gonna do this little Hoya Mathilde, which is just a cutting off of my newer Hoya Mathilde that I had purchased, and I spent $80 on that Hoya Mathilde, and it was on my wish list for a long time, so I don't regret it, but I do wanna like make a little bit of money back on it, because that was like, I don't know, a big purchase for a small plant. So I cut this little piece, and it is ready, I think. It has lots of nice established little roots here going. You can see, and I'm gonna go ahead and pot it in this little mini pot and probably try and sell it. So I did say that I was going to reintroduce myself a little bit. And so if you don't know, I have been very interested in plants for the last like 3 years or so now. And about a year and a half ago, I decided to, was it a year and a half? I don't know, maybe a year ago, I started to like make this channel. And for me, I had always wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I never had an interest or thought that I had anything valuable to contribute to the online space until I really got into plants. And then I started watching so many plant YouTubers, and I don't know, one day I was in quarantine and I was like, I'm gonna make a YouTube video. And I did, and it was horrible, and many of the following videos after that one were pretty horrible. And honestly, my videos still aren't like amazing, but Christopher and I, my partner, we're working on it. We're trying to make things better. We have like a camera now, and I don't know, we're learning how to edit. And so this was kind of all like a whim. It's not like I planned to make a YouTube channel and be a YouTuber. I still obviously don't plan that. But I don't know, my dream has always been to be on YouTube because I spend so much of my life watching YouTube. I like constantly consume YouTube content more than any other form. So like Netflix, streaming, like I just love YouTube in general. So I've always wanted to be a part of this space, and plants kind of have given me a entrance into this space a little bit. And I can't say thank you enough to everybody who, like, I have a few people that are just like so constant on this channel, like Caitlin, Caroline, Deacon's mom. I honestly don't know her first name, but Deacon's mom, these people are always so constant on my videos, and I just can't say thank you enough. I don't know, for being a part of this little community that I'm building here. And if you want to be a part of this community, I would encourage you to do so as well. You can comment down below. I respond to every comment on my videos. I adore this part of my life, and it has been such a joy to me, especially during like this weird last year, 2 years I guess, with quarantine and everything. This has been such a constant and such a happy part of my life. So yeah, subscribe if you want to. Here's my little Hoya Matilde. I just gave her some water, and she looks actually really cute in this little pot. Like, it looks so perfect and centered in this pot. I love it. I'll put this off to the side for now. Oh, I don't know. Okay, this is my Hoya Polyneura. You've probably seen it before on this channel, and it was bigger, and it's not anymore because we have 3 cats, and one of them, a very naughty boy, ate it and then also knocked it off onto the ground. So he chomped off a few of the leaves on top and then knocked it on the floor and broke it apart. So this is what I was able to salvage. I was only able to salvage like these 2 leaves right here, but then it's grown like a few more since I saved it and propagated it. I shouldn't put it into this pot. I'm telling you right now, I should not do this because the roots are not long enough, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel like it. So pray for me. Now, I did tell you guys that I would give you a little bit of a life update as to what's been going on in my life, and I do want to do that. So if you don't know, if you're very new to this channel, I moved recently into the city of Seattle, so that's where I live now. This is our new apartment, and I'm from Buffalo, New York, so it's been a very far trip for us to get here. But we recently moved about a month ago, and we had no plans at all. We just knew that we wanted to move, and we planned to move to Seattle, obviously, but we didn't have any plans beyond that. We just saved up some money, and we're like, okay, we're gonna leave Buffalo around this time period when our lease was ending, and that was it. That was the whole plan. I think I'm gonna make this a little bit chunkier soil. So we did that, and I have a master's degree and an undergraduate degree in teaching. I'm a teacher, and I had been just like subbing for a while right after I graduated my undergrad, because it's like a lot. Getting your master's degree is a lot, obviously, and it's very rigorous, and I just wanted to like sub and relax and be able to work through my master's program. And I did do that, and I graduated in May. And so moving here, I knew that I had my master's, so that would allow me to get a job. I wasn't like too worried about the fact that we didn't have a plan, because I knew that obviously I have degrees, so like, you know. But we didn't have like a plan. I didn't start applying for jobs until I got here. And what I had originally intended on doing was just to probably sub again. Like, I was subbing for 2 years, and I did really like subbing, and I thought, oh, it'd be a good idea to kind of ease into this new city and just get to know the schools. And so that's what I had planned on doing, and I started applying pretty much I don't know, like 2 days after we got here, just to some of the local areas. And my first interview, I got a bunch of interviews. I got a bunch of calls for interviews for different positions, some for subbing positions, some for like real teaching positions. A lot of daycares were looking for people, and I am technically daycare certified as well. But I got this call for this first interview that I went to, and it was a private school for middle and high school students. And my degree is in like early childhood education, so like grades 1 through 6, and then I also did take an extension in social studies, grades 5 through 9. So, you know, it's a little bit, like I have a little bit of middle school cert and a little bit of experience in middle school, but mostly younger kids. But I went to this interview anyway because it was the first job that called me for an interview, and it was a private school, so I went, and I walked into the interview and I fell in love with the school immediately. I fell in love with the director. He was so kind and so nice. And like I said, they were the first school that called me for an interview. And I interviewed with them, I think like 4 days after I even arrived in Seattle. Like, it was so quick. And I had a second interview the next week, and I was offered the job, and I took the job. So I guess that's my life update. If you didn't know, I am now teaching full-time, I guess. I mean, I am. Middle school and high school. Mostly high school, actually, which is just like so out of what I thought I would end up doing. But I teach now health and nutrition as an elective class, and then I teach English 9 and 10, which is like Romeo and Juliet, Of Mice and Men, Macbeth, you know, all that fun stuff, and then world history. And so it has just been like such an amazing experience. I've been teaching now for about a month, full time. And here, I'll show you what this looks like. Again, this is probably too big of a pod. Don't do what I just did. I don't know. It might survive, it might not. We'll see. But anyway, it has been such an amazing experience for me because I really wanted to go to school. When I first went to college, I really, really wanted to go to school to be a high school history teacher. That was like my ideal. And my parents said no. I was fortunate enough that my parents paid for me to go to college, which was great, but they had a lot of rules and stipulations on what I was allowed to do with their money, I guess. So I wanted to go to school to be a history teacher, high school history, and they said no because they just didn't think I would find a job or make money. I don't exactly know why they said no, but yeah, they were not about that. So I was allowed to, well, I wasn't even allowed to go to teaching at first. I really wanted to be a teacher, but my parents were like, you're not doing that, there's no money in that. So I ended up going for my first year of school into psychology. But then once I was in school already, I was able to kind of convince them to let me change my major into teaching. And by doing research into like the job outlook and whether or not there were jobs available, which there were a lot of teaching jobs available, and there still are. If you know anything about the world right now, we're in a teacher shortage, so there are jobs available. So I switched over into teaching, but even then my parents were still like, you can't be a high school history teacher because you won't get a job. So you can be a elementary school teacher. So that was like, I guess, the agreement that my parents said that I could do as far as being a teacher. But this job is amazing for me because this is what I have always wanted to do, which is teach high school. And it's been obviously, like, it's been a huge transition for me because even though I've always wanted to teach high school, I spent 6 years teaching not high school and learning how to teach not high schoolers. So it's been hard. Like, it's been like really difficult, especially like I have some boys in my classes that are just rough. Like, they're just naughty. Like, there's nothing, you know what I mean? They're not like necessarily like bad kids, but they're just naughty kids. And they're back talkers, and it's been like a hard adjustment for me to get used to, but I do love it. I'm like very happy to have stumbled into something that's so amazing. And another thing that's amazing about it is just that it's as I said, it was a private school, so it's so small. Like, my class sizes are so small. They're like 4 to 5 kids. I have a class with 2 kids. I have several classes with just 2 kids. And they're all students that just like regular public school didn't work out for them, so they needed to come into like a smaller like structured room. And so that's been amazing too, because I get to like know my kids, and I don't like have like 100 kids on my caseload that I have to learn all their names. It's like, I think 20 kids overall that I teach, and I get to like see them every day and interact with them, and it's been amazing, and I do love it. It's been hard, obviously, but I love it. So that is my life update, and what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go ahead and repot this Synthonium macrophylla, or macrophyllum. Now, I'll explain kind of what happened with this guy. So this, what had happened with this one was I had a smaller one of these. It was a Synthonium macrophyllum that I had bought when I was still living back in Buffalo. And I wanted one for a long time, and so I bought it, and I tried to bring it on this trip to arrive here in Seattle, and it did survive. Like, it was still alive, but just kind of barely when we arrived in Seattle. And then shortly after, the same cat that knocked this one over knocked off the Synthonium, and once it got knocked onto the ground, it just never sprung back, and I tried to propagate it in perlite, and it just molded and it rotted. So I bought 2 more to replace it on Etsy, and I want to put them together in a pot, so I have like a full pot of Synthonium macrophyllum. The thing is, I just am taking these out now. They're not very well rooted. They're like cuttings from probably a mother plant of whoever sold them to me on Etsy, but they're rooted enough. I was gonna pot them. I bought this big pot for them because I assumed that they would be like fully rooted. They're not really. So I'm probably gonna do this smaller pot and put them in together in there. I paid $50 for both of them, like together, which I think is a fair price for sure. This one's a little bit more well rooted. Let's see. See, this is why I'm outside, because I'm making an absolute mess of myself. So, I don't know, neither of them are that well rooted. They just kind of look like this. I might, all right, I think I'm gonna go this. I think I'm gonna put them in this pot right here. Together, just like this. And if I didn't say, I mentioned it a lot in like past videos, so I'll just mention it quickly. But this soil is my soil mixture. It's just perlite, horticulture charcoal, and Espoma organic soil. I use it for all of my plants. I'm not like that high maintenance. I don't really like making like chaotic mixtures of different soil amendments and stuff. I just don't care that much. So I just figured that a nice, well-draining soil mix works well for pretty much all the plants that I have. And so that's what I do. Alright, that looks cute in here. That looks really cute. What I think I'm gonna do for this guy right here is probably put in these stakes. Should I not? This is a really big stake for this, but this is what I have. One of the cool things about living in Seattle, or just Washington State in general, is that the amount of plants that grow here outside is like, it's mind-blowing to me. Like, it is like one of the most things like that has culture shocked me the most about living here. It's just like being outside and looking at the variety of plants that grow outside, which is like obviously like weird. I'm a weirdo because I'm from Buffalo and we have like maple trees and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, we have no flowers or anything. Like, the flowers that grow here are amazing, and just like the plants that grow here are incredible. And where I was going with that is that this bamboo stake is literally from a piece of bamboo on the ground that I found outside, and it was dead, and it's like, it's bamboo, like it's a bamboo stake, and I just picked it up and I chopped off all like the long little branches on it, and it's great. It's perfect. It was free. It's from outside. It's from like, I was just walking downtown, not downtown, but like I was walking like next to a shop, and I just saw it there dead on the ground, and I was like, I could use that for a plant stake. Now it is like a little bit long for being in this pot, and it's a little big for these plants, but whatever, it's gonna work for now. I kind of want to adhere them to it, but for now I think I'm just gonna leave them because they don't really have like a stalk, whatever, to kind of grow up. But yeah, but eventually I will like adhere them into it. I don't know, is this a bad idea? This is not really gonna work. It's not doing anything. Whatever, this is fine. This is really cute. They look really good in this pot together. I think this is like a better pot size for them than this one is. And they look really cute. Look how nice these are. This huge leaf, look at that. Oh my God, so cute. Let's hope Theo doesn't knock this one over either. All right, I have 2 more plants to get through. Not 4, I have 2 more plants to get through. This here is an ice frost Synthonium that I'm gonna go ahead and get repotted before the winter time. And I think that the roots look really good on this. I mean, I don't know, but I'm hoping that the roots look really good on this because it just feels like really compact in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Look at her, she's so pretty. All right, she's got nice roots going on. She's a beauty. This plant I got at a local nursery near me, and it cost $40. It was $39.99. It's an ice for us Synthonium, as I said, and I adore it. And it has given me 2 full new leaves. This one, these 2 right here, and then it's already given me another one. It's doing so well in my home, and I love it. And I'm gonna go ahead and pot it into this pot right here. I think that this is a good size for it. A little bit big, it's a little bit big. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it in the bigger one because as much as I love this plant, it was only $40, and I have another plant that I'm about to repot, which is $100, and I don't know, I guess if I had to choose between the 2 getting root rot, I'd choose this one just because it was cheaper. Not that I wanted to get root rot, but you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that in here. I don't know, this pot might be like decent for her. She did have a lot of like thick roots, so it'll probably be fine. I just have to be really careful not to overwater this guy because it's in such a large pot that it might hold on to water, and the soil might down like at the bottom might hold on to water, so I have to be careful about not letting it get root rot, but I feel like it's probably gonna be fine. It's pretty good in this pot. And this one I am gonna stake up like for real this time. And I'm probably gonna use that one that I didn't use here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the soil all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to try and adhere it using some twine that I have. I have this twine right here. Normally you could use like plant tape or what's the word I'm looking for? Twist ties, you could use that too. But this is what I have, and this is what I'm gonna use because I'm not gonna go buy something new when I could just use something I already have. So I'm gonna use some twine with my free bamboo stake because I'm a thrifty queen. I'm not a queen, but you know, I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna tie it once on here just to adhere it because Synthoniums do like to climb. They are climbers naturally in the wild, so I think it'll just help it a little bit better to just be able to climb up. I think it's not necessary, but I have it and I think it'll do well because it is getting like, it's growing a little bit this way right now, so it'll help it just climb up, and she looks so good. Look how good she looks. Cute. Okay, I have just one final plant, and I'm gonna get that potted up probably pretty quickly because you've been listening to me ramble now for a while. This is a Synthonium Pink Splash. I paid $80 for this plant, but it was on sale, so it's normally $99. I paid $80 for like a Labor Day sale that they were having. 20% off, which I do love. And I took the top cutting off of it, and you can see actually it has some yellowing on the leaves because I had put it directly below my Soltech Solutions like bright light, and because I wanted to like encourage some of the pink to come out of it, and it did, but it started to yellow, so I pulled it out of there like pretty quickly to try and get it to stop. And it does seem like the yellow is not spreading too much to the other leaves, so I don't think it's like a watering problem. It definitely was just too close to the grow light, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it repotted before the winter time. Ooh, she's got roots. Look at her. Oh my God, they're so nice and thick. I love her so much. She looks good. You look good. All right, should I tie her to the stake? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and tie with a little bit of twine to adhere to that stake. I'm not somebody who really likes moss poles all that much because number one, I find them just like expensive for no reason. And also, they don't really do much. Like, a lot of people say that you need moss poles for more expensive rare plants to hang on to, but I don't really, I feel like you have to keep them so moist in order for that to really help, and I just don't have time for that. Like, I just don't care enough. So I use bamboo stakes, which are like $2 or free. Like, this one was free, so, you know, I don't have time for all that. And it works just fine. We got her tied up. She looks good. She looks so cute in her new pot, and that is it. All right, you guys, that is gonna be the end of today's video. I know this was probably one of my longest videos to date, and I know that I definitely rambled on for a while, so I'm sorry. And if you stayed to the end, thank you. I love you. And leave a comment down below if you would like to. I respond to all comments on my videos because I'm bored and I have no life. Yeah, I'm a teacher now, so if I have any teachers in my watching this video right now, leave me a comment down below giving me your best advice because I need it right now. It's been a crazy couple of months in my life, and I'm just so thankful to have so many of you guys along for the ride with me, and I will see you in my next video on Monday. Bye, guys.